play these kind of comps that the 100 season playing. They've been playing so many drafts where it's like 4 melee champions, right? You have to commit. You throw your body in there to get the damage done, and that does come with those inherent risks. Finally, Senna going to be banned away here by 100 Thieves. They have identified that as a big problem. Azir, Yone, so 2 Quid picks from this series will be banned out as well towards him.
So, Smolder or Nasus? Pick your poison here.
Oh, and Mumu's going to be banned out as well. So a lot of the mainstays are getting banned out. That does mean more of these champions that have been getting spam banned are now going to be available.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see what this third ban is coming in, because we could end up in a situation where Ivern is up, where Nasus is up. Nope. They decide that Nasus is the big prio pick, but Ivern is up, which is really important, and Smolder is up, which is what Dig is going to lock in.
Well, and especially that pairing, right? So now there's that little bit of pressure maybe on 100 Thieves to, do you want to take away Ivern? The answer is no. And I know this is a matchup that you really like into Ivern, Kobe, that Lillia. So do you think that's going to be enough to sway Dignitas from doing what we saw FlyQuest do against Cloud9?
No, I think they're going.
Just go Ivern anyway?
I think Dig are going double AD carry with Ivern.
Yep.
I think so too, and I think that is smart. You talk about ease of execution.
Yeah.
Hey, get the enchanters, get the AD carries, scale it up, play passively, and force them to execute.
There we go. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's exactly what Dig want to do, right? Because they recognize, like, we are not necessarily getting ahead in the early game. We're going to go with this, where we can rely on 100 Thieves to make those mistakes.
One thing that is worth noting, it's not always the biggest deal, but Rell's Q does break shields, so it can be sometimes impactful against Ivern. It's going to be Yasuo, your year on the line here. Quid is locking it in. You know what? Respect.
Who was playing the Yasuo mouse, one-person mouse, one-person keyboard? Because we just we just had them playing it. that was a good one. I don't actually remember if he was one of the ones piloting it, but
no, I think
River
and Sniper were the Lee Sin, weren't they? I think they were.
Yeah, the other one was the Yasuo mirrors.
And we have been getting some Yasuo, across different regions. Faker played it in a loss, Showmaker played it in one, and Knight also played it in a loss in the LPL playoffs. Was trying to see if there was any other ones I didn't remember, but no, those are the only ones that have been showing up in playoffs. So it's getting splashed in a little bit, but anytime names like those play a champion, people stand up and they take notice.
Yeah, and I think I like Dig removing the Ziggs as well. That's been a huge part, especially in this last game, but also in game 1. A really big part of some of these neat turret-taking plays that 100 Thieves have been able to set up. And the Cassante ban, it's finally coming through. You can't let Licorice have that again.
He has been smurfing on Cassante across these last 2 series. Even if you just want to say, it's just a generic champ, who cares about Cassante? You got to give the respect to how well he's playing on it.
Well, he also is a pretty good Poppy, and Poppy's good playing against Yasuo. So he might be looking for a... Oh, Poppy was banned. There we go.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying. And he would have been looking for it. They stopped him.
Really?
They closed his eyes.
All right, what's the Licorice tank going to be? And then Tomo here does have to go... I mean, it could technically be a Yasuo bottom lane, but I think it's going to be in the hands of Quid. So Tomo here definitely... I mean, Ashe gives you initiation. Kaisa gives you some dive if you wanted to, and some more poke later. Ezreal also gives you poke. Double Trinity Force.
Oh, Skarner for Licorice.
This is exactly what Dig want to play. Like, this is the platonic ideal of what this Dig team wants to be able to play, especially into what 100 Thieves are picking up, as we see the Kaisa is going to be what Tomo goes for.
I actually really love Leona Skarner, in particular against the Yasuo here. You just kind of stand on your ADs. Yasuo goes in and tries to play the game at all. Okay, Leona stun, Leona ulti, Skarner ulti. Like, there's so much CC in lockdown and disruption that it is very difficult for Quid to really make things happen.
It's been the recipe for this whole series. It is 100 Thieves dive, Dignitas defend 2 carries. They've got a beefy front line. They have an enchanter with the Ivern here. Previously, every single game of the series, Dignitas have had Senna as their enchanter. So now that Senna is banned, they just say, fine, Spica, you play the enchanter, go Ivern. And we have our double front lines elsewhere. It is the exact same recipe for them, slightly different pieces. Who is going to come out on top in this one again? This is the 5th version. Throw in the Yasuo.
Like that, but then it launched, so we're good.
Yeah, as long as it launched.
There we go.
We are in game here, finally, for game number 5. The much anticipated conclusion of the Dignitas versus 100 Thieves series is happening right here, right now.
Ooh, what are we going for here?
Shenanigans.
Invade?
Watch it be a 30-minute pause into game decided at level 1.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Immediate
Don't
invade
do
into
it.
Pentakill.
But then we can always go with the narrative of, hey, dig scale. So even
go.
if it is, you think decided by an early play.
Mayberry did say they were scaling as we spoke.
Actually crazy.
In the pause.
I
If you
think they
start
actually
the Gathering Storm, when the pause starts, you're
Your mom sees the brutal, savage rat.
Sniper's really
That took me back to like 4th grade.
Speaking of inappropriate words, come on now, young man. I always love how every time they go to him in the player comms, instead of dropping an F-bomb, he's like,
Frick. Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
He does a better job of
Yeah,
me in terms
yeah.
of making sure he doesn't accidentally swear on live broadcast.
All right, well, we are going to get standard lanes here, it looks like, as both teams sending their bot lanes down towards bot. Quid, starting with that E, dashes in, procs the bone plating, which is pretty nice, and we'll see how aggressively he can actually play this matchup. Obviously, Golden Glue was talking about him as a specialist in these range versus melee matchups, and we'll see if that does come to fruition for 100 Thieves, who are really going to be depending on him, I think, with this comp.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool that Golden Glue came out and said, I knew as soon as we got to game 5, they banned the Yone. This is the comp that we want to run. So again, showing a lot of confidence in his players to be able to play stuff that they're really well suited for.
Yeah, I like the Yasuo pick as well into the Smolder because you can set up pushing lane, because you can set up kill pressure. Also, you can deny stacks once you start to get to your win wall and start to be able to deny the Smolder as well. So you like slow down the game plan and make Dig's scaling season scale even slower. But namely, I want to see if 100 Thieves can capitalize on having this Lillia versus Ivern matchup with some pushing lanes. Sniper on top side, Renekton into Skarner. Actually gets taken under tower. That's 2 towers.
He's going to get run down. The flash to fall, but he levels up, and that might be the only thing that keeps him alive. The W slow is there from Licorice, and it's going to be all about the boulder toss. Doesn't have the cooldown, can't actually finish him off. And it is going to be just that level up that saves him.
Let that be a lesson. Don't talk about his mom.
Licorice didn't have level 3, so he didn't even have that Q for the boulder toss, of course. Did have that E leveled up to scoop him back into the tower. Almost worked out.
Yeah, wow. That was so close if he hadn't hit that level 3 off of it.
I think he was dead for sure if he didn't hit the level 3.
Yeah.
But that's the way League goes sometimes. It can be the slimmest of margins that create the largest of advantages. And Jensen
Spica.
so far here with Spica, but the wave's at the tower. I think he's just going to be chilling. Spica maybe goes for a little bit of harass, but the wind wall is there to answer. And so far, Jensen just trying to scale up here with the grasp, with those procs. The Q can proc, obviously, the grasp as well, which is quite nice. He's already used it 7 times, so getting a little bit of HP there, not too bad.
And with the bottom lane pressure here from Dignitas, with Zven and Eyla pushing up, they guarantee the bottom Scuttle Crab here for Spica, so no problem for him. And River will be a little bit slower on the reset since he has to go cross-map to grab the top one. Ivern always getting out so early on the map. Now let's see if Spica can create any more chaos. His first reset here does bring another control ward. So wants to bring the extra control ward here to clear out some vision around these pushing lanes and make them think twice.
And he's walking straight mid, and Quid's going to dash in potentially here. He does go right on it. The wind wall there to cover, though, and Lillia is behind him. So Spica helping to keep him close, but gotta say, Quid has been really on point with these tornadoes. It feels like he's hitting every single one.
Yeah, he's getting down so much harass onto Jensen in this lane. For me, for 100 Thieves, it's really about can they get this composition rolling? Because once it gets to a certain point in the game, Dignitas just wins out, right? Like, they have the heals and chills coming out of the Ivern on their double carries. They should be able to kite back. They have Licorice and Leona to set up picks and peel. As we see Isles going mid. And there is a lot of prio here from Dig, trying to get Jensen into a better state as Quid has been besting him in this lane.
Absolutely, and I mean, Jensen already, off the races with stacks. He already got his 25 very, very quickly. So it's going to be just accelerating that much more when you're playing these range versus melee matchups. You can just kind of farm stacks off your opponent. A lot about being able to get the Smolder stacks through farming and perfect CS. A lot of it is really just about skirmishing and scrapping. That really does accelerate you a tremendous amount.
All right, we're coming up on the 6-minute mark, so 30 seconds ahead of time. We reset, and 100 Thieves are sending out Eyla through mid lane here to hover behind him. There's been this battle over the wards on the bottom side of mid lane, and Eyla comes over to replenish that vision, that safety for Quid, to ensure that he still can lane. Meanwhile, it is going to be...
No.
Looking for a potential ult. He does knock him out, but not going to decide to go in, as Jensen was pretty far back towards the tower there. Eyla here, though, on the roam, is going to be able to help Quid get that push. Not that he really needs it, honestly, at this point, as he already has the Berserker's Greaves. He's going to be at a much stronger point in the game than Jensen, who's just on that tier longsword, and the boots as the buy.
Yeah, we've seen both supports come to try to affect this mid lane, make sure their mid laners are in a really good spot. Dig should be able to apply some pressure here on bot side.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it should just be an objective trade because pushing bottom lane, Dignitas early game over Kaisa, they've got the advantage, so they should be able to take Dragon, while 100 Thieves, they've got the pushing top lane. They should be able to take the grubs over here. Lillia very good at doing them, and Licorice towards tower.
Back. We'll see if he can get anything from it. Doesn't look like he has the range to get him all the way back to tower. So did it just really for a bit of trade, a bit of harass, as Licorice was getting low, obviously on that tier Doran's ring. Trying to maintain enough mana to stay around, but Zven has already claimed one tower, and River is looking. He's going to be able to go into the wall, is going to get slept up, though, and Flash gets him a little bit of distance, but I'm not sure it's going to get him enough. Trying to run for it, can't get out of there. River knocks him down, first blood.
Jensen set it up, though, and Spica is here. And
there's River, has his flash. He might have to use it. We'll see if he can get it. There's that root landing onto Sniper, and Sniper has nowhere to go, so he's going to just turn around and try to fight it. Spica, unfortunately, grabs that last hit. I'm not even sure how he actually got that last hit. It looks like he was just walking away, and Jensen was the one firing.
Yeah, both junglers paying attention. I was going to say, I like this from River, recognizing where he can rotate to on the map after picking up those grubs, but really nice response with Jensen headed up alongside Spica. And Jensen is now going to take over this topside wave where Licorice is going to cover mid.
Yeah, they actually accomplished their first goal here for 100 Thieves. This is playing off this pushing topside, this Renekton. So this is kind of expected, though, because you know you're doing an objective trade. So as the Dignitas side, you know that River is up here doing Void Grubs. There's nowhere else that he should or could even be. And so Licorice just stays around a little bit too long, and it's all about hitting skill shots. River hit the first skill shot. He got that swirling seed. That allowed him to get the sleep. Then the second skill shot is Spica hitting his root collar onto Sniper. And so some of these plays being afforded by, good execution on them. But Golden Goose like, man, we stayed around just a bit too long. Couldn't quite get back out. The reset there, Spica came up through lane, and Jensen went over.
Honestly, though, trade of kills, Lillia gets first blood, Ivern gets a kill. You're pretty happy about that, I think, overall on the 100 Thieves camp. And we'll see if they can continue to try to accelerate this game, as the coaches were talking about. Mabry, the Dignitas coach, feeling comfortable as long as it was within, say, 1,000 to 2,000 gold, he said, at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and things are pretty close, right? We're only just short of 9 minutes in, so the big thing is whether 100 Thieves in the next 5 minutes or so before turret plate falls can try to get
Wiles is up here, and Licorice going to throw the ulti and just bring him right back in. But Sniper's able to flash out. The CC chain not perfect. There was that slight gap that allowed him to flash to safety, but honestly, I don't think they would have had the damage for it either way.
Really like the use of that timing with their bottom lane constantly pushing this whole game, and Ezreal being so safe. Isles knows he can leave Zven a little bit earlier, and you saw Eyla arrived at top lane, but it's just after the play, and so they did get their flash out. I wonder if it is going to be punished, because obviously Licorice's flash was used when Spica came to come gank, so they're just kind of evened up in that area. And honestly, Dignitas pretty happy with the beginning of this game, not dropping too much.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll see. River's going to pick up this Drake while topside is getting pushed in, so that will be 100 Thieves' response, which is, good for them cleaning up some more early objectives.
Also, well, we have a support leaving the area here as Ayla's able to jump out, but we also have not one, not two, but 3 tiers on this team for maximum Dignitas late game stacking. The
We're crying so hard right now.
the Pimble Winter build for Licorice for Skarner in the top lane is kind of necessitated since they did the mana nerf.
Here and the wind wall's down, so this could be problems. Mom gonna tear through. Quid though running off to the side here. Looks like he should be fine. River arrives and it's just gonna be a bit of harass there, and that's about it.
Yeah, nice long distance little swirl seed getting in there from River. Again, River is really good at recognizing when he has to come in towards his lanes. We'll see if Dig look something on top side as they go for this next pot of grubs.
Sniper has TP and it is unleashed now at this point, so he could join. He's going back to base. We'll see if he can get here in time. Dignitas will grab the first one. The question is, can they get more? There's the TP coming in now from Sniper. Quid stayed around, but he didn't get back to base to actually heal up, and they're going to stun Sniper into the wall. Do they have the damage to actually finish him off? No one is really with them, so they're so low on DPS. They use all their CC, but now the turn, it's on to Jensen. The flash forward from Eyla, the killer instinct to follow it up from Tomo. This is Dignitas biting off way more than they could chew. Licorice and Spica running back to that tower. It's 2 kills though, 400 Thieves. Zven poking away on the side, trying to create a window for them to go back in. We'll see if they can find it. Shifts in, River's in that pit over by the grubs. And Zven arriving, lands enough damage, and now Isles has respawn. Dignitas might actually be able to take these.
Yeah, because Jensen has teleport. Jensen will respawn here, full life on the Smolder. River at least is able to yoink one, and it is critical because you get your one Void Might spawn with just 4, so they are able to get that one, as well as the extra kills. Now, Mabry, the coach interview during the pause did mention specifically second grub spawn and being a little worried about giving over extra kills to 100 Thieves. But 100 Thieves were trying to get the Sniper this entire time. He pops his ultimate, and so he is able to survive to buy enough time for the rest of 100 Thieves to get up there. And by that time, Dig were so committed into the river that Tomo Killer Instinct, him and Eyla are able to kill Jensen as they're rotating up through the river. It's like, felt like a little bit of tunnel vision from Dignitas as they were rotating up to it, and maybe even got baited in by Sniper's teleport in the middle, and the rest of 100 Thieves kind of positioning like, oh yeah, we're just doing grubs, go ahead, go all in on Sniper. And they kind of got their trap play, their second grub spawn play where they get a couple extra kills. Then you look at it afterwards too, they're still racking up money, more turret plate money, the topside tower is just getting demolished.
Yeah, it sets up this Renekton to get a plate or two, and the big thing there was they really tunneled on Sniper coming in, right? But they didn't have enough damage to kill him, so he's able to escape. And then Tomo and Quid on the backside are immediately onto Jensen.
Yeah, I think Jensen just, you gotta have safer path over towards that play, even if your team is calling to rotate over towards it. Nice job there from 100 Thieves to jump on him, though, and grab that kill. See if they can put that money to good use. It has turned into a static shiv in the hands of Tomo, and that is always so good for Kaisa. Accelerate your farming. This dive, this kind of dive AD carry here, it does have one of the weaker lane phases as far as the AD carries go, but it's always so nice in these dive comps. And now that they're out of the lane phase here, we'll see if Tomo, who has been the savior of 100 Thieves split so far this summer, can actually make use of that kill and do it once again here in Game 5.
One of the things that was kind of interesting about that fight for me, as I'm not going to quite connect there on the Zenith Blade, was just we saw that first punch, the turn on Jensen, they kill him off. But then we also saw what happens when you have none of those engage tools. This Zven is just shifting forward into your face. You can't turn on him because you didn't have Yasuo. You didn't have the turn from Eyla available. So, in those extended fights, it can be very difficult. And that's why the engages have got to be perfect. But we're back to Herald and maybe back to another scrap here. Licorice and Sniper both missing a bit of HP. We'll see if Licorice is going to get back towards base or not. Quid playing around that pit, trying to stack up the Qs. He may look for an engage here, but it's sidestepped nicely from Zven. And now the True Shot barrage across multiple members does help to chunk them down. And it's a smite fight, and they do get it on the side of the Ivern. Jensen over the side. Mom comes in, trying to tear him to pieces, but the wind wall blocks it. And Licorice is in trouble on the other side. Tomo and Sniper are able to burst him down. And now the sleep is there. It's just on the Leona, but Isles might get left behind. The engage comes through onto 2. Jensen, though, shielded up by the Ivern. He's surviving, and he's trying to turn this fight around. Sniper goes in, gets a kill on Leona, but it's going to be at the cost of his life. It's a double for Zven, and it's a one fight for Dignitas.
And that's exactly what you were just talking about, Azael, in the setup to that fight, right? When they're able to do so much damage from the backline, watch how much this is able to chunk out with Zven, and then Eyla's going in. Spica gets the smite from the Ivern. Jensen and Zven throughout this are able to just kite back and do damage from range, even with Sniper frontlining pretty well.
Not only did Isles go for the initiation there too, but he ended up with his Zenith Blade on top of the eyeball. So Spica hitting the smite and then him picking up the eyeball. But this is my critical point. There is obvious comms desync here for 100 Thieves, as Sniper goes in to grab the kill here, and the rest of the team is already long gone up the river.
That will give 100 Thieves first rotation on this Drake as a response. But I mean, like, this is, I feel like Dig are very, very happy with where their team composition are in, especially if they're able to get kills off the backside of these fights this early on.
Honestly, I would really like to review that fight again, like slow-mo with comms for 100 Thieves, because you have to think, if you're playing it on the edge, when Sniper goes in, 2/3 HP almost Renekton for that kill, and the rest of Dig are forced to burn him down. The rest of the team apply like no pressure. They're already kind of on the way out. It really makes you wonder if they had been able to play even more on the knife's edge to get any little extra out, because they've got 1,000 gold lead and they have 2 dragons here, but the Dig scaling in this game is crazy.
Oh, Jensen's going to TP top. He couldn't actually get to that bot lane tower, and now Licorice going to set up the dive, as Skarner is so good at doing. Sniper, no chance at fighting back in that situation. Knocked against the wall, ulted up by Licorice. It was Quid pushing down in bot lane, and they were threatening a dive on Jensen, so he just stayed back by the tier 2 tower. TP's cross map, looks to make a play there.
Yeah, good recognition from Dig where they could apply pressure, right? Because as you said, Quid was on the bot side of the map taking that turret. He's probably not going to TP in to protect this. So yeah, really, again, I like how Dig are matching 100 Thieves in a lot of these skirmishes, in a lot of these fights, and looking for setup, just because they are in a very good position with this composition as compared to what 100 Thieves kind of needs to do in the next few minutes to try to snowball ahead.
I mean, the target for Mabry, again, the Dignitas coach, he said 1 to 2K within 20 minutes. We are pretty much golden, and they are right around that spot, and there's only 2 minutes until they do hit that mark. 100 Thieves definitely do have a lot of power through side lanes. They do have an explosive engage, but again, when you're against Ivern, you've got to be perfect on those engages, and now the Mikhails has come in. That just makes things even harder with Mikhails and Redemption.
Some things you can rely on when you don't have a giant gold lead are going to be early positioning and picking people off, because if it's not a fair fight and you're able to get numbers advantage early, or you're able to get a surprise play, then you can still snowball objectives even without having a massive advantage, especially if you have, you know, the DPS to back up those picks. So 100 Thieves, we'll see about them if they're able to get any sort of, well, they're both going over wards right now into the jungle, so even though this is now like 100 Thieves takeover area, Dig know that they are here, so nobody should get caught off guard. And they'll only kind of a retake when you have the Ivern buffing up the Leona, and then they're just walking at you, so tanky. 100 Thieves are still able to push it ahead though and grab their other outer tower. Both side outer towers now taken for them to try and open up some room for their split pushers.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that 100 Thieves really are trying to look at getting into a good position where
coming in here. They're going to look for a play on Licorice. He is tanky, but can he find his way out? Does he know that Quid is there? I think he's going to get the bad news just now, and we'll see if he can find a way out. Stuns him against the wall, is going to flash away, but Quid flashes to follow. There's the last breath, and it may be the last breath here from Licorice. Can that redemption land in time? It does, but they just don't really have anyone there to push them back. Spica tries to bail out his top laner, but he can't quite do it. Fortunately for them, there's not too much on the map as far as objectives go.
Speaking of objectives too, that is a Dignitas Herald, and it's getting burned down for 0 effect. That thing is also going to go into the dirt. This is a pretty big run of play for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's big for them if, let's see if they'll be able to set up mid at all too in response, because as I didn't even know Baron made that loud noise.
It swims across
honestly.
the river, yeah.
I knew that. I just had never heard the noise like that.
You didn't hear the gurgling before? The classic with all the many heads.
But yeah, I think it's a nice play for 100 Thieves, but I still think even with the gold lead, right, Dig are in a pretty good spot if they can get 100 Thieves to step forward and fight them.
Well, I think 100 Thieves is going to be willing to do that. If we've seen any indications throughout the series, they have been very aggressive, sometimes to their detriment, sometimes to their success. You know, this is a team that is not afraid of taking these skirmishes.
Yep, 100 Thieves here. Should set up for this dragon, no problem. Honestly, Dignitas, just keep stacking. Go elsewhere. There's no reason to give up anything for a dragon number 3. Wait for your dragon soul fight. Jensen doing his best here. Smolder 101, try and stack off of the Raptors. Get as many as you can there. Get all the tiers stacking. And just play defense. 100 Thieves, they're actually not even instantly taking this dragon. So it is delaying the next dragon a little bit longer, but just making sure that they push out first, and then they'll go collect it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do get Ocean Soul, it's going to get a lot more difficult for Dignitas, who in their late game, it's a lot about Smolder poke and Ezreal poke, right? That's a lot of how they actually pressure you. They chip you down, they force you to engage when you don't have those high health bars. Otherwise, you just have to seed objectives. So Ocean Soul really could throw a wrench in those gears. We'll see if Dignitas is going to be ready to fight at this next dragon, because now the pressure is on. It's game 5. They're at Soul Point here, and if you give that up, it could potentially be the end of this game and the end of your year.
Yeah, and it's a really good window for if this game does go long, if 100 Thieves are able to pick that up, like you said, because it does change the dynamic of a lot of these fights.
Yeah, the TP's coming in very far behind him. Sniper looking for an angle, and Dignitas are just going to find out right now as he shows up. And Eyla in the middle of everyone. The last breath comes through. Tomo with the killer instinct was in the middle of the team. They do get the kill onto Licorice. He's the first to fall. Jensen on the side, though, is getting so much damage done. Look at Quid. He is incredibly low. Dignitas want to chase, but they don't have the vision to do so. It is just the one kill at the end of the day, and look how much 100 Thieves spent to get it.
And Jensen's at 216. He's so close to 225. If that was a 225 fight, they all go down. Dignitas, they're stacking up their Smolder. Even though they lose a person in the kill, that was teleport, and that is control of the map. So sometimes you get a kill, but you lose control of the map, and you actually have a negative play there with the tower going down. Jensen now, 220, only 5 away on the Smolder.
Yeah, and like I said, 100 Thieves are the ones who are going into this fight, right? Sniper is TPing in on the flank. Digger gonna spot them right here. Eyla goes in, Tomo goes in, Redemption Heal goes down, and I think the big thing for me is how long, again, they're able to survive, and Jensen and Zven are able to just continuously do damage.
All of 100 Thieves DPS went into the 2 places that Dig actually wanted. Licorice and Isles there, the front line, the Leona, the Skarner, the tanky members. They were unable to pressure any backline, any of the actual ideal targets. And I don't know if you even get another chance at one of these fights. Mikhail's plus your Redemption, your double Trinity forces, your Muramanas are transformed for Dignitas. Dignitas' season has scaled.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, Eyla, there's a lot of pressure on him, and Quid is obviously just mashing R. You know, you have that small window to do it. I think he thought Eyla was going to catch Jensen. Jensen was just on the outside of that Magnet Storm, didn't get snapped in, didn't get knocked down by that initial combo. And as you said, Kobe, all the damage then went onto the front line, meant Dignitas do lose Licorice, but you have to put so much in him to be able to actually kill him off that it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's 0-4-1, sure, but your job is being done if you're just protecting the carries.
Yeah, he's already so hard to kill.
Oh, the bowling ball hits on his Zven. He does have cleanse, but Sniper's on the other side. Are they going to commit to this? Shattering Strike goes wide. Sniper trying to go forward, but he just can't get through the team, and now the counter TP is coming. Licorice is coming in, and Sniper's in trouble. The wind wall there to try to buy him some time. Sterix does proc, but he gets slammed against the wall, and that's a freebie. 100 Thieves went fishing, and they caught themselves 5 Dignitas members who get an easy kill.
Yeah, and every time 100 Thieves try to go for one of these plays, Dig have everything to be able to catch the engage, make sure that their damage dealers are in good positions, and now they're on Baron.
We'll see if they can get in. Flash is available for River, so eyes on him. Ward goes over the wall. It's actually not spotted by the pink, so it hasn't been disabled. I think it lost vision because of maybe the brush or something, but either way, he can see it. We'll see if River can get there to try to turn this around. It's getting very low, down to 4K. Tomo poking over the wall, but River gets scooped away by Licorice, and Licorice is just ulting him and pulling him out, but he's down, and the Baron's still alive, and he's in, and he steals 100 Thieves, get the Baron, get the kills, and just like that, turn the whole game on its head. It's a clean ace, it's a Baron, and it's 100 Thieves taking full control of the game.
100 Thieves with the heist of a season. They get the ace, they get the Baron, and they might just get the series off that.
That was insane. I really want to look at that fight again because I think a lot of it came down to Licorice trying to get on to River and ignoring the rest of the fight. Let's see this again.
So it's a break point between Baron getting at 4K health. It's not low enough to instantly burn down, but now you get the lead in the team fight, and the sleep really delaying that. Then Tomo instantly can follow up on it. Yasuo can instantly follow up on it from a screen away, and to boot, River's got that smite.
That's rough. I mean, so many things went wrong for them all at once. Licorice is saying, okay, I'm going to ult the enemy jungler. We finish the Baron. But then the 3-man sleep comes in, delays them so they can't actually finish it off. The wind wall blocks out so much of the damage, and they are pumped up. Look at the relief there on Golden Glue's face.
River is crazy with it. The Lillia there, triple man sleep into stealing it. Really masterclass, even with Licorice going straight for him. And now they get their dragons.
Yep, here we go. Now they are going to get classic Dig. Oh no, it wasn't Dig, Baron throw. They're going to get Ocean Soul now too, right? Which is kind of the worst thing that could have happened for Dig in this game when you're relying on this scaling team composition to, again, catch the engage, be able to kite back, redo DPS from poke. 100 Thieves are in a really good position now to close this out.
Absolutely. 100 Thieves are looking incredibly good here in this 5th and final game, poised to try to knock Dignitas out to end their year. They're sieging on the tower. Zven trying to do his best to push out these minions to try to get the poke as he can, but Ezreal's waves clear leaves a lot to be desired, and 100 Thieves are coming from all angles. They have the soul, so the siege is never going to stop. With the Ocean Soul, you're going to be staying at full health. You have to win a fight from full HP, and Dignitas are down 8K, so it's so difficult to do that.
Yeah, as we see 100 Thieves, their season on the line, they're pushing in, they get mid, they're going to be able to get this inhib. Sniper's going bot side to start the bot push. They should be able to group up with him, take down this bot side turret.
And what a season it has been for 100 Thieves. It's not over yet. They struggled this summer. They worked so hard to get to this point. And even in this series, with the original series being 3-0, they thought this was going to be a lot easier, but Dignitas have pushed them to the edge. And now they can just barely see it. 100 Thieves will go for their reset first. They don't want to overplay their hand, go spend their money first, and return to finish that job.
And just what if 100 Thieves managed to pull this off, what a year it's been, because most people took a look at this roster all the way back in spring, and they were like, yeah, they're probably like 8th place, 7th place, right? And they were really underestimated, had a shockingly good regular season, kind of bombed out in playoffs a bit, had a really rough regular season in summer, and are now here in a really good winning position to keep their season and Worlds hopes alive.
And I think it's so interesting because in summer, people were saying, okay, well, this is the real 100 Thieves. You know, they were not that good. They just got some lucky wins. And even on pros, we heard pros talking about it, that they had to win these kind of crazy situations, and they weren't really going to be able to do it on stage. But here we are. They are very close to being able to claim top 4 in the LCS with this young roster that is trying to do even more. We'll see if they can put the finishing touches on this one, or if Dignitas can pull the rabbit out of the hat. Feels like they'd have to do that 2 or 3 times in a row to really have a chance in this game.
How many rabbits do they have? Looks like one dragon will be what they rely on.
Oh, the TP's coming in on the bot side. It's the ulti from Licorice onto Sniper. Can they burst him down? No, not just yet. Isles goes in, lands the stun, but the tower is gone. Mom is blocked out. There's the combo coming through. The Leona ulti across multiple members. Tomo into the stasis, and he might be in the wrong spot here, but the sleep comes onto Jensen. It's going to be cleansed off. And Quid, the last breath onto Jensen. It may just be the last breath of Dignitas. 100 Thieves, make no mistake. They fly into the back line. They look to close out the series.
Quid Yasuo, the Quid Yasuo composition. Their mid laner coming up huge.
In the rematch that goes the distance, 100 Thieves pull it off again. They'll take out Dignitas, they'll put the finishing touches on it, and they'll move on to a match with Cloud9 where they'll play for a chance at Worlds.
Oh my gosh. I did not believe, I thought they would get outscaled. What an insane turn from them being able to win that fight at Baron. And then at the end, it comes down to, again, we trust in Quid. We pick this Yasuo comp. We pick these dive comps. We have faith in our players. The young team led by the veteran River, they keep their world's hopes alive.
That triple sleep from River as
Insane.
Licorice is charging right at him to delay long enough so that then he himself can